Hi, my name is Marc Belaiche. I'm a co-founder of Guhuza, and I'm here with Mike Nagzaam, who is with Certn. He's Director of Sales and Partnerships at Certn. And Mike, why don't you talk about a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. At Certain, we are in the business of trust. We perform pre-employment and employment screening globally. So what does that mean? It helps hiring organizations ultimately determine whether the folks that they have in their hiring pipeline are first and foremost who they say they are, and do they have the credentials and the experience validated and verified to be successful in the role. Mark, why don't you tell me a little bit about Guhuza? We've been working together for a while now, but why don't we share a bit of a refresher for those watching?
Yeah, well, we just envisioned a world where for an employer, all they had to do was upload a job, push a button, and start interviewing candidates live on the platform within minutes. Kind of like with Uber, you say where you want to go from and to, you push a button and somebody shows up. And we thought it would be the same concept with that. And we wanted to not have a job board whereby people apply to jobs and then they never hear back in most cases. We just wanted a platform where candidates, job seekers that get matched for a job that can get interviewed live on the spot with the employer just after answering a text or a push notification to the app or an email. So that's our world, and been an interesting 2025. What are you seeing, Mike, in 2025? How's this year been?
Yeah, 2025, what a year. So I think, if I go back to the beginning of the year, there's a lot of nervousness in the market, a lot of there was a lack of predictability for what was to come. And, I think we saw specific industries as far as kind of their hiring velocity kind of slowed down a little bit. And, we certainly saw that in manufacturing. We saw it in natural resources. And, really what that meant for us was how do we help organizations get more efficient in their hiring efforts? It didn't necessarily mean that they were hiring less. It was more of a, let's maybe hit pause and let's revisit this later in the year. So that really kind of shone a light on how do we help drive efficiencies? How do we help HR and talent acquisition teams kind of automate some otherwise, manual processes. And so when you have those kind of lulls, it really gives you an opportunity to kind of innovate and drive efficiencies. And luckily enough, we've seen things pick up throughout the year. But as always, in down economic times, there just tends to be a little bit of a shift. So you see a lot of folks migrating to either gig roles or hourly roles or fractional roles, even to maybe supplement their income and kind of wait out kind of everything that's happening in the socioeconomic landscape. Good thing for certain is we're industry agnostic, and so we're able to help these employers regardless of the industries that they work in. So, I think we're seeing things starting to accelerate again. People are gearing up for a big 2026, and now they're armed with some of those operational efficiencies and automated processes. So hopefully it'll be smooth sailing and a little less apprehension going into the new year.
Yeah.
Mark, what about you? I mean, I'm always interested to hear kind of, other folks' perspective on kind of the market. What are the job trends? What are you seeing from your side?
Yeah, I mean, it has, like you said, it's been an interesting year. You kind of started the year with all the tariffs and all that, and that as that all played itself into the economy, it kind of was a big shock, and companies stopped. And if we're talking about Canada, a lot of Canadian companies weren't able to export, or how do those tariffs affect their businesses? So yeah, so we saw like the first quarter was kind of who knew what was going to happen, and then kind of the second and third quarter was kind of like, okay, it's hitting, right, we're here, it's impacting people day to day kind of thing. And then you kind of see a little bit of a flattening in terms of, okay, the worst is over and now we can maybe rebuild. We've seen a lot of HR tech and tech in general, AI, how that is impacting companies and how companies are rethinking their workflows and so on. People ask us a lot with Guhuza, like, are you using AI? And it's like, yeah, we're using AI, but it's one piece of the whole puzzle of making things better and improving it. But yeah, it's been an interesting year. I mean, we have hit 2,300 interviews live on the platform, and we're just continuously growing, and it's a great opportunity to kind of change for companies to like rethink how they're doing things. And it's not even just in recruitment, but I think everywhere along the way, companies are rethinking, reshaping what they're looking to do. So what are you seeing for the future? Like Mike, what do you see 2026 looking like? What's your predictions? And we can look at it a year from now and say, well, how were we right, not right? But what do you think? Where are you seeing things?
Yeah, I think you mentioned something interesting. Obviously, AI is the hot topic, and I think we risk kind of belaboring the point a little bit. But I think for the most part, organizations have started to kind of find their footing. They've introduced AI working policies within their org. They're kind of determining now how it's best suited to support them and their businesses. And I think, some of the early adopters are those human resources, talent acquisition, recruiter roles, because they see that there's kind of a tangible kind of output, whether it be helping them reduce their time to hire, helping them kind of reduce some otherwise manual processes, maybe the reviewing of an applicant and their CV. And so I think that's exciting for us. And so with that being said, I think there's a level of confidence that comes with kind of the adoption and becoming more familiar with some of these systems, tools, and processes that we've been putting in place in 2025. And with that, I think that's going to serve as a new baseline. And we're going to see an acceleration in the adoption of kind of new tools and an appetite for kind of maybe shedding the, we do this because we've always done it mentality. And so, and this is not reserved for those working in highly innovative tech companies. I think we're seeing the adoption of these tools across, everything from kind of manufacturing to retail to really kind of any industry. So for me, that's really exciting. I think, we're ushering a new way of working, and that's going to generate all sorts of brand new opportunities, not only for organizations to get more efficient, but also new types of roles. So folks that are coming in with kind of the experience and expertise in working with these systems and being a kind of an agent for change in organizations that may be kind of in need of it in 2026.
Yeah, for sure. I agree that AI is just kind of, I feel it's been around for a long time. I think most people just think it's came around with ChatGPT, right? But I mean, it has been around for a long time, and it's right. Who's going to adapt to it, and what jobs are going to be created as a result of this stuff, right? I mean, people are just talking about AI eliminating jobs. Well, what are the new jobs that are going to come in as a result of this stuff, right? I mean, it's a crazy world, isn't it? We're in for an interesting 2026. So anyway, how does someone reach you, Mike?
Yeah, so would love for you to check us out at Certn.co. You'll learn everything that we have to offer and how we might be able to support your business and your hiring efforts. As for myself, you can reach me via email at mike.nagzaam@certn.co. If you're kind of in a need for a bit of a facelift as far as your screening program goes, I'd love to talk to you. But Mark, how about you?
Yeah, and just by the way, it's CERTN for those that are watching, just not certain as in AIN. So, yeah, so you can reach me on LinkedIn. Guhuza, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok also. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me, Mark at Guhuza.com, MARC at Guhuza.com. So thanks, Mike, and wishing you the best for 2026. And let's connect next year at this time and say, hey, how were our predictions really? How did we do?
You got it. Thanks so much, Mark, and happy holidays.
Have a great one. You too. Thanks.